Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of PMP's Den of Antiquities, and today I have another entry in the Star Wars Perspective podcast. I am joined by Abbi, aka Kid Sidious. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Good.
Awesome.
So usually the first question I ask is, what got you into Star Wars?
Okay, so it's actually, to me, I think it's kind of a funny story. I think I was 7 or 8, and my grandma brought home The Phantom Menace on VHS for me to watch. Which is, yeah, right. So odd, though, looking back on it, because she would always bring home, like, Disney movies, like, lots of, like, Winnie the Pooh and, like, Disney princesses and stuff, and, like, it was just so random. She was like, I brought home this like Star Wars video. There's a little boy on the front, and I had like a matching bowl cut with Anakin at the time. She was, it was great. But it was just so like random compared to what she would normally like bring home for me to watch. And I think it was because my grandpa was a fan of like the original trilogy, or like had seen them and like knew of them. But she was like, yeah, it looked cool. There's a little boy on the front. It's a kid's movie, whatever. And that's like what kind of started it. I remember like sitting in our little like TV room at the time watching it, having no idea what I was getting into. And I got super obsessed with it and made her re-rent it from Blockbuster, probably like 8 or 9 times. Right? I'm aging myself right now. It's fine. But yeah, she rented it so many times that she eventually just like bought me my own copy. But that was like my intro into the world of Star Wars.
That's awesome. That's a good one to. A lot of people kind of hate on Phantom Menace, and I've never really understood it. I always loved it as a kid.
Yeah,
and now too, but
yeah, right. It's still very much like a comfort movie for me, and I get it. Like, arguably, the dialogue in the prequels is not like the most prime writing we've ever seen,
right,
but prequels era is like my bread and butter, so I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick, and this question's always a stumper, if you had to pick one thing in Star Wars, what would be your favorite thing about Star Wars?
Oh God, that's really difficult.
I know.
I don't know. I've always to me, Star Wars has always been about like found family and like rebellion, and just like I was raised by my grandparents. None of my family lives anywhere near I do, so I very much have like my own found family of like friends and stuff like that. So I think that's always been a theme that's like really important to me. But like as for like one specifically Star Wars thing that I love, I have always been fascinated with like vehicles and stuff, so I love all of the starships.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have a question for you later about the vehicles. So
okay.
So would you say that your base is TikTok for Star Wars content, or would you pick Instagram, or which one would be your?
I don't up until recently, I don't really post that often on Instagram, but I've been doing it more. Like, I hate to be like that kind of person that's like, oh, I'm trying to be like a content creator and like this is my brand. Like, no, I just do it because I love it.
For sure.
But definitely for like, I post daily at least. Like, well, lately I've been very tired because of work, but I try to post daily at least once or twice. I'm just like, oh man, 9 to 5 is killing me right now.
Definitely.
But yeah, TikTok's probably where I've like started gaining like more of a following, and now I've been trying to like do more Star Wars adjacent things like on Instagram, but like TikTok would be like my main place to go.
What kind of got you into doing different? Because like that's where I'm pretty sure that's where I found you, is on just like the little Star Wars group of people. I just started I think I started during like COVID and stuff like that. That's when I kind of started TikTok. So, and I just like found a whole bunch of people, and you happened to be one of them.
Yeah. I was like kind of just doing whatever, and then I started posting like a Star Wars video here or there. But I don't know if you remember when that trend was going around that was like the Adult Swim bump thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
the AS.
Yes, yeah. So I posted one, and then a friend of mine did like a really funny one. It was the I think she based it off of like the Adult Swim is calling, and then like the chat opens up and it's someone doing something weird, and it was like her wearing a clone helmet, like kissing another clone helmet, and I was like, that's so funny.
That's awesome.
I really want to do a Star Wars one, and actually it's like all of my collectibles are like back here, and I don't tend to think of myself as like the funniest person, so I was like, I'm not gonna try and do something funny. I'm literally just gonna like clean off. It was like a fast motion video of me like cleaning everything off and putting everything back on, and I used the Adam Driver like, you look like a Star Wars fan, no offense.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why that caught, compared to what I had when I had like 23 followers or something, that seemed to catch like a decent amount of attention. I woke up to like 600 followers the next day.
Oh wow.
And I was like, okay, so like
I'm doing this now.
Right, yeah, now I'm a Star Wars TikToker. Yeah. That's really how it started, and then I've just been kind of like posting regularly ever since. So
awesome. Yeah. So now this is probably going to be the hardest question I ask you, and I'm gonna rephrase this because like I had a interviewee on yesterday, and she was like, well, I kind of like all Star Wars, because I usually say rate your Star Wars movies from like best to worst.
Man. Okay.
But I'm going to kind of rephrase that just like in your order. They don't have to be best to worst, because that has like some connotations, like some negative, like, you know, like you can love all Star Wars and stuff like that. So just rate like your favorites, like you can do your, just whatever you want to do.
Oh man. Okay. So are we including like Rogue One and Solo, or like does it not matter?
If you want to.
Okay. I should have probably written this down, and you did mention this when we talked. I completely forgot.
No, that's all good.
But I'll just do it in like groups of like, my favorites are Revenge of the Sith, Empire, and Rogue One.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like mid-tier would probably be the rest of the original. I love the original trilogy, but like I said, like prequels are my bread and butter. So like the rest of the original trilogy, and Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I hate to do this because I fully respect everybody's opinions, and I am super like anti-gatekeeping, and I always feel like whenever I say like, okay, the sequels aren't my favorite, that it like people are like, oh yeah, the sequels, and I'm like,
yeah. No, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, they're just not my favorite. That's the thing. Like I watched them. They're great. I still think that oh my God. Whenever I have to actually say names, I blank out on everything. What is the first sequel called?
Oh, The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I'm like, The Last Force. No. Oh my God. I get so tongue-tied whenever I'm like actually having to say stuff out loud. I still think Force Awakens is a great movie. It's just not my favorite.
Right.
And same with Solo. Still, I loved it. We'll watch it again. It's just not my favorite. But
for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of how I rate them. And it changes sometimes. You know, some days I'm like, I really love Attack of the Clones. It might be my favorite. And then other days I'm like, man, I really love like, Empire, or I think it kind of just depends on the mood, but that's kind of the order I would put it in.
Okay, cool. Are you big into the TV shows?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
That is all I did on quarantine, was catch up on the Clone Wars, cry deeply after the end of season 7, and then rewatch it. And well, and so I worked in restaurants, which when everything shut down because of the COVID, we just were all out of work for like a year. And so I would be bored, and I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to go on a Google searching adventure. And now I have like a fairly unhinged amount of knowledge about the Clone Wars specifically, to the point where we did like a Clone Wars Jeopardy type of thing. And my friends were like, how do you know this? And I'm like, I just, hyper focus on things.
I'm a god. I'm a Star Wars god.
I'm ready to fight God or become him.
I'm currently running on 2 hours of sleep, suicidal thoughts, and an Oreo, and I'm ready to fight God or become him.
Oh man, that's funny. So would you say Clone Wars is your favorite TV show that's come out so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Mando. I basically love everything. I haven't watched Resistance yet, but I love it all fairly equally. It's just that that was just what I did a lot of like research on, I guess, because I feel like there's like a lot of, I feel like Dave Filoni brought a lot of Legends content or like bits and pieces into it, as he does with most of his shows. But I just spent a lot of time Googling and on Wikipedia and on like Clone Trooper Wiki and stuff like that, like finding stuff out. There's literally awesome. 3 million men to research. So.
Right. How did you feel about, because Bad Batch wrapped like 2 months ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. How'd you feel about Bad Batch? I know that was a mixed bag for some people.
Yeah, I ended up really liking it. The thing is, like, I think everyone was expecting it to be Clone Wars Season 8. And you have to take into account, like, the war is no longer happening in the same way that it is during the Clone Wars. So I liked that it was slower paced. It gave us more time to get to know this specific group of characters, because you get 7 seasons to get to know Rex and Cody and Fives and everybody. And well, Fives only got 5 seasons, but we won't talk about that. I'm still sad.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. My favorite boy. I liked getting to know them and getting to know bits and pieces of like where Omega came from and what was going on. And I'm really excited. I was really unsure whether it was just supposed to be a 1 season type of deal, but I enjoyed it a lot. And I felt that same sense of nostalgia from watching like Star Wars when I was a kid, like kind of through Omega's eyes, like she is in Star Wars now and she didn't even know it type of thing. Right. So I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I really like the scene for me that like it's like the best way. Like every time I put on a Star Wars movie, it's like when she sees like hyperspace for the first time and you see it like through her eyes. I was like, literally, that is the best way to explain like how Star Wars is to me, because like every time I throw on a movie, it's like seeing that hyperspace. She's like, oh my God, like what is this? Yeah. So I absolutely downloaded the soundtrack too. And every time First Time in Space comes on, I'm like, it's so cute. Dang, I need to do that. I haven't done that yet. It's really good. Yeah. I'm trying to think, do you know the composer for that one? It's not the same guy that did Mando, right? It's different. Is a different person? No, it's so technically it's the Kiner brothers, but it was released under Kevin Kiner. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't done that, but I need to. I always have like this little Star Wars playlist because I'm at a computer like pretty much all day. So I usually throw on like the Closed by Sunday is one of my favorite. I love Closed on Sunday. Yeah. I listen to them all the time. Yeah, because they have those, even though it's like the same little tune, like it's the same 3-minute tune. I listen to those hour long, like the I'm blanking on which one I listen to the most. It's the Across the Stars. It's like I really like that one. And then the Victory Celebration, because that's my favorite like melody. So the Victory Celebration, they have like a lo-fi version of that. So I'm like, I love their stuff. Yeah, it's great. What did you think about, have you seen Visions like all the way through? Oh yes, immediately. Well, yeah, same. What did you think about Visions? I thought it was really cool. I know a lot of people seem to have a problem with it because it's such a different style of Star Wars and it's not technically canon. I love seeing what people interpret like through Star Wars. And the way I've been describing it to people is like, this is the most expensive fan fiction that's ever been made. And I think that's so cool. I think that's awesome. Like, seeing people whose like medium is different than like the traditional Star Wars animation we've seen or live action, getting to put their spin on something is really cool to me. Like, I'm a very creative person. I write a lot. I make music. Like, so getting to see other creatives being able to like bring something to life through like what they interpret it as, I thought was awesome. I'm obsessed with it. I already want to get a tattoo of Umbrella Lightsaber Girl from the Duel. Awesome. That was sick. Dude, when I watched that, I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I was speaking of like going back to TikTok, I would like there's this one TikTok where it's the Taylor Swift where it's like you're blown away by something on the screen. I wanted to do that because like that is like the coolest thing when you see that. I forget what type of battle droid that is, but the one that's holding the Gatling gun. Oh yeah, it's God, I couldn't remember the name of that droid, but just seeing that with the gun and then seeing the guy who turned the probe droid into a vehicle. Oh yeah, it's like Sebulba. He's a
like a Doug. Yeah, that was sick. He has like the swords and stuff like that. I was like, man, if somebody needs to cosplay that, like, I don't know how, but do it.
I'm already planning on building the umbrella saber, where like me and my fiance are like trying to figure out like how to do that, because we have like a couple 3D printers, we have a resin printer. We're like, we need to bring this to life.
Oh, that's dope. Right, I actually have a couple of questions about that, because I don't know if you can see like I have like a Lego lightsaber over here. I have like and like the Mando helmet. I'd also do like 3D printing stuff. So I have a couple questions for you, like a little further down the road.
Yeah, totally.
So do you have like a favorite Visions episode out of any of them? I know it's hard because there's like 9 of them.
Yeah. But I loved the duel. I loved the twins. I thought like all of the the Gemini Star Cruiser, that was cool. The angle of when he's like upside down on top of the X-Wing and
it's like the lightsaber
R2's.
up. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so cool. I also really loved the Elder.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed all of them. There were a couple that like were not necessarily my favorites out of the grouping, but I really enjoyed all of them, and I think those are like my top 3 probably.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there was definitely some of them, like I know a lot of people had beef with like a Tatooine Rhapsody, but I thought that one was like
I loved Tatooine.
I thought it was fun. You know, like not all of them have to be like super serious and like awesome and stuff like that. You know, like I thought it had its own vibe, and how could you not like Boba Fett like jamming out and like has like sipping his like martini or whatever James Bond style.
I thought it was so good.
But yeah,
even like Jabba like bumping his
he was grooving. Really, the only thing like I think this is like I haven't really heard anybody else mention it, is for Tatooine Rhapsody, I just thought the music choice was kind of weird. Like it was like punk rock, and I was like,
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have any beef with it, like, but I was like, out of all the music to pick, I was like, that's kind of an interesting one, because you see like you see it's like mostly kind of like jazz. You kind of have like the in Fallen Order, I don't know what the song he's jamming to at the beginning, I don't really know what genre you would classify that as, but it's very it was just a different music, so that was really what caught me off guard. I was like, oh, it's like punk rock. I was like, that's kind of
Tatooine pop punk.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, that's where you want to go. But no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we have the TV shows underway, we got the movies, we got all that. I'm gonna do this thing where it's called Mynonk Minutes, where I just kind of lob like basically asking you what your favorites are about a whole bunch of stuff, kind of rapid fire. You can take as long as you need, but the first one I would say would be, if you had to pick a Jedi master, whether or not Jedi, but Jedi, Sith, Mandalorian, if you had to pick a master to be trained by, who would it be?
Plo Koon.
Plo Koon, interesting choice. Why would you pick Plo Koon?
I don't know. He like when I look at all of like the Jedi, he just like encapsulates the balance between like the Jedi code and like being like a normal loving, not human, but a normal loving being. I think he does that really well. And I've just always like loved in Clone Wars, like his relationship like with his battalion and stuff. And I just think he's adorable, and I want him to be my space dad.
Also like I really like his relationship, because he's the one that found Ahsoka, right? So like I really like the fact that he always like kind of like takes Ahsoka under under his wing too, even though he's not like her master and stuff like that. Funny enough, I actually have I have so many cosplays playing. Like if you saw my Pinterest board, I mean, oh my God, there's so many. But have you seen the like 2003 Clone Wars done like the Samurai Jack style?
The Gennady Tarkovsky, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually started to watch it like 3 times, because I always put like a TV show on when I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay up and watch it. And then I'm just perpetually tired. So I need to actually watch it all the way through, but I have seen it, bits and pieces of it, a couple of times.
Have you seen where like Obi-Wan is in like full clone armor? with like his like Jedi robes?
Oh, I haven't.
Okay, I would highly recommend it because it's awesome.
Okay.
But he's like in these. He's basically has. It's different from like his Clone Wars outfit. He basically has
where he
like
just has like the upper armor.
Yeah. So he actually has like a full clone armor on, and then he has like his Jedi robes like over the clone armor. So he's like his cloak, and I want to do that with Plo Koon and have like Wolf's armor. I thought that would be such a cool kind of style. That would be
so good.
Because
that would be so good.
I'm blanking on the dude's name. There's this dude that makes masks on Instagram, and he is like, I can't think of.
I don't know.
It's man, I'm like really. He makes like really cool like latex masks.
Okay.
Man, I'm really mad that I can't think of the name, but he makes awesome, like, I forget the species that Plo Koon is, but he makes Plo Koon.
Keldor.
Yeah, Keldor. Yeah, exactly. And I want to get one from him so bad, and then 3D print all the armor and stuff like that, because I feel like that would be sick.
So good.
Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Okay, so sidetracking from that.
Right, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's what these podcasts are for. You go down all the different avenues and all that jazz. Yeah. So if you had to pick a lightsaber, what style lightsaber would you have, and what color would it be? Or colors?
I would want a saber staff, and it would be purple.
Ooh, nice. See, I thought I was the only one that liked purple lightsabers, and literally everybody I've had on this podcast has said purple.
Yeah, no, I think it's the coolest. That's my, I did one of the sabers at Disneyland, and I was like, purple, gotta be purple.
Yeah, I want to go so bad. I was going to go for my birthday, and literally like the weekend of my birthday, California shut down.
No.
Yeah, and I was just like,
sorry.
Oh man, I wanted to build one so bad. I want the one with the Rancor with the. I think that's like.
That's the one that I have. That's the one that I built.
Yeah, I really want to customize it because I was like, man, I was like, I could probably 3D print some stuff for it.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, maybe one day I'll go back. I'm waiting for like COVID to kind of settle down, and hopefully I'll get the.
Well, now I feel bad because we're going at the end of this month for my birthday.
Yo, that's awesome though. That's awesome.
I'm always like, sorry.
No, not at all. Hey, I all in due time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll go there eventually. So if you had to be anybody in Star Wars, who would you be? Would you be a Jedi? Would you be a Sith? A Mandalorian?
See, that's really hard because I think Mandos are super cool.
Yeah.
I love me some Jedi. I love me some Sith. I know that gray Jedi are not canon. Don't come for me. I think the concept of a gray Force user is really cool. It's like really, really difficult, but I would probably say I would lean towards Sith just because I do enjoy a good all black aesthetic.
Oh yeah, sure.
Clothing wise.
Yeah, but, definitely.
I suppose Anakin did wear all black when he was still a Jedi. So
yeah, he's sticking it to the man, sticking it to the council.
Like, here's my black outfit.
Yeah, I have a concept for like an original character. Mine basically, of course, survives Order 66 and basically becomes a Mandalorian because I really like Ventress's arc. How she basically wears like a helmet and becomes a Mandalorian, and Boba Fett was like my all-time favorite growing up. He's not anymore because like I just have other ones I branched out with. But I was like, man, like the Mandalorian, like Jedi. I was like, that's just such a cool really concept. Cool. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, you can do. So I kind of have two parts to this. You can either do 3 characters or 5 characters because some people don't have 5 characters.
Okay.
Your top 3 or 5 favorite characters, and they don't have to be in any order either. You can just like list them off. They don't have to be like the best to worst or anything like that.
Gotcha. We're gonna go 5 because, as you have seen so far, I am terrible at making decisions.
I feel that.
Top 5 favorite characters: Obi-Wan,
awesome,
Anakin, Ahsoka, Din Djarin.
Ooh, nice. That's he's you were the first person who said that in their top 5. So
I love it. I love The Mandalorian. Like when it first came out, I was still working as a waitress at the time, and it was always like I would sometimes make my work schedule so that I would be off and home in time to watch Mando when it came out.
Hey.
If you're watching this and you know me from my old job, no, you don't. And then 5s. He is my boy. I will forever be sad.
Yep,
so
I feel that. He's my. It's a mixture between him and Wolf. I think those are like my two favorite.
I do love Wolf.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking like specifically Clone Wars, all of my favorite characters would be clones. But just like overarching,
for sure,
general Star Wars. Yeah, I do love Wolf though too. Actually, one of my friends sent me. You absolutely can't see it from here, but one of my friends just sent me a Wolf Black series. So he's up on my shelf now.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got to me, he's got the best looking armor in the.
100%. No question.
Yeah, I know I messaged you because I saw you post the Galactic Armor. He's like, Wolf. And I was just like, oh man, it's like, I've been waiting for this for so long. Because he has like the kits, because he sells like the.
Yeah.
Like and he had Wolf there, but he never had the files. I was like, release them.
God.
Release them.
Give them, please. Yeah. Come on.
So he finally did it, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, all of my 3D armor prints, all my files are from Galactic Armory.
Yeah, same. I got, well, actually the Mandalorian's not, but
gotcha.
All my other ones. I have somewhere around here, I have Hunter's helmet because I'm going to do a Hunter one.
Let me see if you can see it in the background. Hunter is sitting on my shelf back there. He's printed. I just need to paint him.
Yeah, same. I think I have like the first, here, actually I have mine. Hang on, grab it. He's on the floor. He should be on the floor, but he is on the floor. I'm worried I printed his helmet a little too big because his helmet, like the file that the Galactic Armor, I didn't size it. But
gotcha.
It's like massive. Like I have a big head. Like I consider myself.
See,
to have
but
like
also
a fat
you
head.
have to like. He has like really big
Juts
armor.
Out. Yeah.
So maybe it like won't be too bad. We had to size mine down a tiny bit because I have a small head, but. Right. Also, you can like pad it. I feel like everybody puts like a little bit of like padding in there to make it more comfortable. So if the eyes are too low, that'll like raise it up.
Yeah, I actually have. Here, let me real quick. So video games and Star Wars are kind of like my thing. So I don't know if you ever played like RuneScape growing up, but I have like a RuneScape helmet.
Oh my god!
I put like all the
just
padding.
Unlocked a core memory.
yeah, but I do a lot of RuneScape memorabilia and stuff like that on my Etsy store. But yeah, I'm super excited for that one. I think that's going to be like my first build. And then I got his Boba Fett armor because I want to do the one from the Mandalorian where he has like kind of like, I thought they were Tusken Raider robes, but they're really not because Tuskens don't wear black, but he's kind of got his like robes and stuff like that. So I'm excited to put that one together as well. I just haven't found the time because 3D printing is such a pain to do.
Consuming.
Yeah, I love it, but it's a pain.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But so I don't remember, was that 3 or 4 that you said 5?
I did 5.
You did 5? Okay. Yeah. I was like, wait, did we go through all 5? Or?
Took me a second there. I was like, did I do 5?
No, it's all good. So if you had to have one force power that you could bring into real life, what force power would you pick?
Oh man, I just want to be able to like move stuff with my mind, quite honestly.
Just have the force. Like
just generally force things. I don't know. I kind of, even though we saw it for like 0.02 seconds, I feel like force speed would be really fun.
Yeah.
Because I'd be the person who'd be like, want to see me run from here down the block and back? Want to see me do it again? Aha.
Want to see me run to that mountain and back? You want to see me do it again?
Yeah, nice.
Just bringing all the dad jokes.
Oh yeah. See, because I'm kind of in the same mindset as you. Is like I like having like the force reflexes. I think that would be a cool one. Yeah. And then also like who wouldn't want to have force lightning? I just feel like I wouldn't use it on people, but I think it would be cool just to be able to shoot like lightning from your fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, kind of makes me feel like because the Fire Nation and Avatar, they can use like lightning and stuff like that. So it's like I'm a little bit of a firebender too. So hey,
right. Everybody says I'm a water bender because I'm apparently nurturing, and I'm just like, but I want to shoot fire out of my hands.
Yeah, most people say that I'm Earth because they're like I'm stubborn. So I'm just like,
fair.
It's like, hey, cool. But in my universe, I'm Fire Nation.
Yeah, right. In my fan fiction, I can shoot fire out of my hands.
Oh yeah. Do you have a favorite musical score?
Oh,
that's another hard one because John Williams. Really, all the composers are a beast, but John Williams is definitely the beastiest of the beast.
God, that's really tough. So something I learned recently is in the end of Phantom Menace, when they're having the big parade through Naboo, when you're listening to like the music that's going on in the background, it's actually the Emperor's theme from the original trilogy, but instead of doing it in a minor chord, they did it in a major chord to make it sound like really happy and celebratory. And I was like, oh, the foreshadowing is so smart there. So I think that's really cool and really interesting. Probably besides that would be either Across the Stars.
Great one. Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to go with that one. Like, there's too many, honestly, that are so great. But that is so... like I said, I make music, and I've always been very... like emotionally connected to music, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, for
sure. Yeah.
Like there are just some songs that like hit me in the soul and that I'll never be able to like not tear up listening to. And that's like one of them. I just think it's such a good song, and it's so like perfect and like emotionally indicative of like everything that's going on in Anakin and Padme's lives at that moment. I'm like, it's a good song. Oh yeah. Yeah. For me, it's the Binary Sunsets. Every time I listen to that, I'm just like, oh. That, and then Leia's theme too. I don't know what it is about Leia's theme. And like I get all like watery eyed and I'm like, why? Yeah. Why is this happening? It's just a really good theme. Yeah. The composing for the entire like Star Wars universe is, in my mind, the best that will just ever exist. Oh, for sure. Like, can we talk about Duel of the Fates? Like, holy crap, can't tell you how many times I've blasted that in my car, just like, just weaving through traffic. I gotta go somewhere. My favorite thing is to do the. Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say every time like there's a fly in my house, I turn that on and just like get 2 fly swatters. I'm like dun 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 dun. I will kill you. So my friend Spencer is a linguist, and he like wrote his whole dissertation or thesis or whatever about like the Sith language, and he like told me that, and so that was another like time that I spent like far too long on the computer googling stuff about it, and I found out that Duel of the Fates is an old Welsh song called Battle of the Trees. What the heck? But Welsh is very like guttural, like I have all of my family is from the UK, so like listening to people speak Welsh is just like, oh, I hate this. So they translated it into Sanskrit to get it that really like a lot of like vowels, like the like sounds and all of it. And I'm just like, things like that are so interesting to me. What did you say the song was? I want to look that up a little later. It's an old Welsh poem called Battle of the Trees. Battle of the Trees, yeah, I'll look that, because that's awesome. I like knowing little stuff like that. Like, right? I know, my party trick is knowing useless information about Star Wars. Yeah, because the two that I found, the one that you said about the Phantom Menace, where it's like that I like blew my mind, and then Revenge of the Sith is my favorite. It's probably not it's like the main thing in my background. But I didn't know at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, like when like before like Vader's mask gets put on, you can like hear him say like, "Padme, help me," like very like light. He's like a very like whisper, like you almost can't hear it, but like when his mask goes on, he goes like, "Padme, help me," and you can kind of see him like mouthing something. Yeah, and like when I saw it, it's giving me goosebumps right now. Dude, I just got chills. Yeah, that's crazy. It's the craziest thing, and apparently too They cut out audio, like when Obi-Wan cuts him and he falls. Yeah. He says, "Help me," and you can see him mouth it, but they cut the audio for some reason. And I don't, like I said, who knows if it's actually true, but it looks like he says it. Like when he gets cut and he falls down, he kind of looks up and he looks like he's mouthing something. Oh, I always just thought he was like, yeah, like, I don't know. Right? And who knows? Somebody could have saw that and like, oh, maybe he was like saying, "Help me" or something like that. Oh my God, I'm going to have to watch Revenge of the Sith tonight. Yeah, no, but like, I was like, when I saw that, I had to rewind it a couple times, but like, and maybe it's just my mind playing tricks, but I swear I heard him say "Padme." Yeah. Because it's, it flips back and forth between like him on the table and then Padme on like the giving birth and stuff like that. So I was like,
if that's really like what happened, like that is like the coolest thing.
Oh, that's so sad.
yeah. It's also like tears. Just rolling down the face. Do you? So this is also a two-parter. Okay. What is your favorite planet, and then what planet would you choose to live on?
Oh, favorite planet. That's really hard.
Yeah, I know.
I think I feel like this is such a basic answer, but I would totally live on Coruscant because like I'm in Arizona. Like we are a city, like Phoenix is a city, but it's really spread out. Like every time I've gone to somewhere like, Chicago or Seattle, like I love like tall vertical cities. I don't know why. I just feel like I thrive there. So I'd probably live on Coruscant. Favorite planet though.
Would you live like above Coruscant or would you live like below? Which one would you?
I would live above because I'm fancy. I'm just kidding.
Gotta have that.
Or if I did end up living below, I would just find a place to like perch on top of a building and like look over the city or something.
Right. Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah, exactly. Favorite planet. I don't know why this like immediately my first response is Hoth, even though I feel like it would be miserable to be there, but I don't know. I love the Tauntauns and everything, and I do like cold weather, so I'm just gonna say that off the top of my head because there's so many options.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever had anybody say Hoth yet. Out of all
the theme of talking to me is I can't actually ever make a solid decision.
Yeah, no, I feel I'm super indecisive as well. So I'm like like I always like my all my lists, all the things I say, they always change because like sometimes I'm vibing with this planet, sometimes I'm vibing with that planet, and same thing goes with movies. So
totally.
So I know you kind of mentioned it, but why is Fives your favorite clone?
I think I just like really appreciated his like arc of like kind of being a little when he was younger. Right. It's kind of being a little jerk, and then like going from that to the whole Rishi incident and like surviving that, and then becoming an ARC trooper, and then like being this like smart, articulate like soldier who like was willing to kind of like throw away everything to prove like what was going on with the whole inhibitor chip thing and like save like Tup and like all of his brothers and stuff. Like I just really liked that character development for him, and then like knowing that he was so close to saving everybody. I don't know, it makes me sad, and I just think he's a great character.
I thought that was always crazy that like Palpatine basically was like, hey, like you solved it. Like you solved the mystery.
You did it. Yeah. You got it.
And I was just like, when I saw that episode, one, it's like one of the saddest episodes in Clone Wars.
Oh
but
my
like,
God.
Two, I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe like he was just like, you figured it out. Now you're dead.
and like to that end, like everybody gives Commander Fox so much crap, and I'm like, you realize that he answered directly to Palpatine, who is Darth Sidious, who told him like there's no way that he didn't tell him like find him, kill him. For and their whole thing is like they're conditioned from like when they're like baby children to like be obedient and do whatever it takes and sacrifice themselves, and like your person in command is like you don't question them. Like I think it sucks that people get so mad at Fox when he literally was like doing what he was told to do from like birth. Well,
you also got to think from like their because like we're seeing it from like an outside perspective, obviously. You got to think from their perspective. He's like shouting like the craziest stuff, because like that's a pretty crazy thing. If you don't know, like the Chancellor's a Sith Lord and he orchestrated the whole war. He's sitting there being like,
it's all in here. Like that's crazy man talk.
Yeah, exactly. And also the fact that like Palpatine was like, oh, he attacked me and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, he would be like, okay, well I'm doing what is right. I need to take him out.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like I think like I said, like Fives is also my favorite as well. Like I just. Man, it's so crazy that like, because these clones they weren't designed to be like these like they're supposed to just be like basically numbers on a board, essentially. They're not supposed to like think outside the box and have free thinking. And it's like I think that's so cool that he and like Rex and like a few others were like they just kind of like branched away from like all the basic clones. And like that's one reason why I love Clone Wars so much, is just because like it really, because like I remember growing up, like I was a little too young for Phantom Menace. I think Phantom Menace came out in 97, 96.
Yeah, 96 or 97, because I was 7 or 8 when I saw it.
Yeah, so I didn't see that one in theaters because I was born in 95. So I was, but like growing up, like clone troopers were always the coolest thing, but they were kind of buttholes. Like they were painted as like buttholes, and because you kind of skip all of the Clone Wars. So like that was the one thing I thought was like the coolest thing about Clone Wars, is it kind of gave them more depth. Well, it gave everybody more depth, but it really gave the clones more depth, which was like something I thought was cool. And you got to see all the different like Echo and Fives and Rex, and and like I just thought that was like the coolest thing growing up as like a kid, because like I went and saw the movie and I thought that was really cool, and then I started watching. I didn't finish the TV show because as kids, you never finish anything. You're like, life goes by like so slow as a kid. You're like one season's like 10 years as a kid.
Right? Exactly.
So I never finished it, but I remember sitting down and watching it, and it's like The Office and Clone Wars are like my two things. I'm like, okay, which one am I going to binge watch next? Am I going to binge watch The Office, or am I going to binge watch the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
And Avatar is sprinkled in there sometimes too.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, man, I really thought that was just like the coolest thing, and the fact that he discovered like everything,
he figured it out. Yeah,
it was like really cool. But so if you had to pick, do you have a favorite Star Wars creature?
Ooh, I love it's not an Anuba. What is it? The lizard thing that Obi-Wan's riding. That's not an Anuba, is it?
No, it starts with a V. It's a
Verdactyl.
A Verdactyl. Yeah. And then I think it's also known as a Boga, or Boga was the name of his.
I think Boga was his Verdactyl's name. I like that, or those. I
really want that toy from like the 2005. They have like Obi-Wan riding it, and like I've seen him for about $100 on eBay, and I'm just like, I can't pull the trigger on it yet. But it's like one day. I
cannot spend $100 on this thing. Yeah,
I've also been thinking about, because I do like I 3D model and sculpt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I can ever find the time, I want to like sculpt one with like Obi-Wan riding it and 3D print it. I thought that would always be really cool too.
I love those, and I love the Loth Wolves from Rebels.
Yeah.
Especially that whole thing with like, you got your wolf pack back. I was like,
man,
okay,
that hit me right
punch me directly in the face with the feelings.
Yeah, he's like, fights just like the boys, and I was just like, oh no.
I cry.
Yeah,
my cries.
Yeah, that's one thing I really hope that season 2 of Bad Batch dives into. I want to see more like clones like being like rescued, or I know there's I don't read a lot of like the books and stuff like that, but I know in like one of them there's like a rebellion, like a clone rebellion. And I think I hope they lead into that, because I think that would be like the coolest thing.
I think that'd be dope.
You kind of see it a little bit, like they kind of like sprinkle it in there with Hauser, when all the clones like throwing down their stuff. And I was like, that's like the coolest thing. They're clones that are thinking for themselves.
Oh, I love it.
They're like, screw the chips,
Right. Well, I think don't technically, I don't know if this is like canon, legends, fanon, whatever, but I believe that the effects of it begin to wear off after a certain amount of time. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm
not really sure.
I'm not sure if there's so many things that's like that weren't legends and now there are legend,
Right.
I'm just like, oh man, I don't know. But I think that would make sense, like especially too, because like Jedi always wanted clones to like think individually and like be themselves and have their own personality. So I think it would make sense that they would wear off like over time.
Yeah, I would say so.
One thing I want to know too is if the de-acceleration, because they're all having like accelerated growth.
Yeah.
I wonder if that stops after a certain point, because Rex is. I'm pretty sure it's canon that he's in like the Battle of Endor, like the guy that's that has the, but like at that point he'd be like 90 or something like that, like
90 in like talk about it in like dog years, but like 90 in clone years, because I think he would have been about 45 in like regular people years or something like that. I know, because they were like, based on some of the novels and stuff, when like Rex and Ahsoka first met, Rex was 10. So by the time Rebels happened, I think he was like 25.
In people years, right? Not in clone, because he's
in people years, because he would have been like 50, 55. I really don't know. I mean,
hey, that sounds. I'm not gonna fact check you on that one. I was like, that sounds good to me. 25.
Sure, yeah. I'll take it. Yeah.
But yeah, man. I just wanna know more about clones and see more.
Me too.
See more clones.
More.
Yeah,
give me more.
Because I thought
Boys.
Hauser was cool. Because everybody was like, why isn't he like being a butthole like the rest of the clones and stuff like that? And I really think like the reason why he wasn't is because to me it didn't seem like he was around any Jedi. So
no, because Cham Syndulla was his like general or whatever.
Yeah. So I think maybe like it doesn't even have an effect. Like if there's no Jedi to enact it, like maybe the chip is still activated, but it's not like have like extra aggression to like Jedi and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So. But then that like begs the question, was he there by himself and they like shipped in a bunch of the new like troopers that were like under him, or like why did they seem to be more kind of like under, I don't know. I need more information.
I also think it's cool too that we can like, because like if we knew all the answers, we couldn't sit here right now and speculate on all this stuff. So it's like a give and a take. I'm like, I want to know more answers, but I also kind of like making my own stuff, like your own head canon and stuff like that for it.
I will say, I firmly believe Hauser has the best hair in the GAR.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's got the waves, man.
Right?
He's got the,
you give one clone a good haircut and you watch all of the girls on every bit of social media go absolutely feral over it.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny. Like literally after the week, it was like just Hauser. Like Star Wars was all Hauser, and I was just like, dang, I didn't think he was like that cool, but I guess he's like the hottest take right now.
Seriously, I've known him for 30 seconds, but if anything happened to him, I would kill myself.
Do you have a favorite droid?
I mean, R2. But I don't know. I also really love K2SO because I relate to him in every facet on a spiritual level. Yes. For the longest time, my Instagram handle was Bay2SO, but nobody got it because you can't put like a dash mark. So everyone was like, what does Bay2SO mean? And I was like, oh, never mind.
That's actually that's a pretty good handle. That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, look at me. I'm so smart.
Yeah. I heard a rumor, and I really hope it's not true, that he's not really going to be in the Cassian show.
Well, it depends when it takes place. Like, yeah. I don't know. I would love to have K2 in the Cassian show.
Well, I think there's just such a good dynamic, like I don't know if Cassian's going to have like a second season, because you never know. I think it's kind of like Obi-Wan, where it's going to be like a limited thing.
Yeah.
But hey, Loki was limited and everybody like loved Loki, and now he's getting a second season, so who knows? Maybe
we shall find out.
Yeah, maybe in the second season we get some, because like it's a good like kind of like buddy cop sort of thing.
Oh, for sure.
Because Cassian's kind of gritty, which I really hope they go gritty. I love gritty Star Wars. Like I know like Star Wars is like for kids, and that's how it's kind of. I mean, after Clone Wars season 3, that's definitely not a kid's show anymore. But originally the design was like for kids and stuff like that. But that was one thing that like blew me away with Rogue One. It kind of showed like, I really love like showing that like the rebels aren't all good, and like the Empire's not all bad too. Yeah. And I like playing with that dynamic, and I thought that was they also did it in Mando too, when they were kidnapping I'm blanking on his name, the scientist guy, and he was talking about like the Death Star destruction.
In Mando?
It's season 2. Wait. It's like I think it's either the second to last episode or the last episode. I don't remember. Yeah. But they were talking about like the Death Star. He's like, how many people died on the Death Star? And like you can see like the tension between that Imperial officer and Cara Dune. And I was just like, oh. Yeah. So,
awkward.
yeah. But it's good. So what would be? I know you said you're a vehicle person. What would you say is your favorite vehicle? And then which vehicle would you want to bring in real life to have?
Oh,
so throw both of those in there.
So, damn, this is hard. I love the Naboo Starfighter. I also really love just the Republic, the LAATs, just because of how iconic that kind of like noise is when they're, because no other like ship you really hear like the same thing as when they're coming down, and it kind of makes that like almost helicoptery sounding noise.
It's like dun, 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 or something.
Yeah, it's just like it just my brain the right way.
Yeah. I really want that Lego set. That Lego set of it looks so. I'm not a huge Lego guy just because like they're so expensive. And it's a really expensive.
Yes.
But I'm just like, they showed, I think that came out like a few months ago. I'm just like, it's so beautiful.
I saw it at the Lego store. And I just sat there and was like, Lego for like 30 minutes because it's like massive.
Yeah. It's super. It's like kind of like the Death Star and Star Destroyer. Like those things are huge.
They're huge.
Yeah.
But I want it so bad. I have no room to put it anywhere, but I want it.
Oh yeah.
As for what I would bring into real life, probably a Y-wing.
Oh, interesting.
If I was a pilot, I would fly a Y-wing.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think mine is I like the B-wings, man. I didn't for the longest time until Rebels. I didn't know that they rotated, like the head. Like I didn't know that that's how they operate. I think there's like one or two in Return of the Jedi, and then I think in A New Hope, I think they also have them, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah,
they might all be X-wings, but man, those B-wings are so cool. And then you see Hera like piloting it, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. She got style.
Also, second, right? Oh, I love Hera. The starfighters that you see at the beginning of, I think it's Attack of the Clones. Is it Attack of the Clones or is it Revenge of the Sith? Where they're in that big firefight. Where, oh my god, which one is it?
Do they kind of look like X-wings, like with the wings out, and they have like little like?
No, it's the.
I'm trying to
This is really going to bother me now.
Yeah, I'm looking.
You see him a bunch in Clone Wars. It's what Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's what Obi-Wan flies when he goes to Kamino.
Like, so I don't know the names of the Jedi, the Jedi one, the Jedi starfighters.
So I just love the name of it. It is a Delta 7B Aether Sprite class light starfighter, and it's such a mouthful. But I think they're so cool, and I love Plo Koon's how it's like gray. And it has like the stripes on it and stuff. I'm like, I love it. That would probably be second, but definitely you like
the ones from Attack of the Clones or Revenge? Because like they're like the Attack of the Clones ones they're like kind of like pizza shaped, but the Revenge of the Sith ones, they kind of have like almost like the Millennium Falcon. They have like a piece in the, so it's like a cut in the middle.
Do they?
Yeah, they're definitely like the Jedi fighters from Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith are. I'm like 90% sure they're different, if I remember correctly, because it's like a pizza slice. It's like a point.
Yeah,
and then the other ones are like this, and there's like a.
Oh no, I'm talking about the pizza slice ones.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, those are cool. I remember seeing Kit Fisto's when he's fighting Grievous in the Clone Wars, and he like hops on it. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not dead," and I was like, "Oh." Yeah, because Kit Fisto is like, I think I would, if I had to pick a creature to be in Star Wars, I'd probably be a Nautilus. I think those guys are so cool. So,
yeah.
All right. So do you have like, what is like, as far as like upcoming releases go, like what is your, what are you most hyped for?
Most hyped for Kenobi because I love Obi-Wan.
Heck yeah.
I am actually really, really excited for Book of Boba Fett. He was never like necessarily one of my favorites. Like I didn't dislike him by any means, but he just wasn't like, oh yeah, Boba Fett.
Right.
But like seeing Tim Morrison come back to play him and like
he's great, man.
Like,
I love him.
The whole exchange between him and Bo-Katan where she was like, don't you mean donor? And he was like, haha.
You're about to catch these hands.
Right. I love it. And I just think Tamora Morrison is like such a wonderful person in general. Like
I like him with a cowboy hat where he's like sitting like that with his cowboy hat on. And then he's like playing the guitar and stuff like that. Yeah. Mando. I was like, man, what a character.
I love it.
Yeah.
And like from a girl's perspective, young Tim Morrison as Jango Fett. Whew. Don't mind me, just drooling over here. But I am actually really excited for Book of Boba Fett because I think it's going to be great. I love Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shand.
Oh, she's awesome, man.
She is amazing.
I flipped out when they bought her in Bad Batch and she like fought because Cad Bane's like one. I think he's definitely like top 2 bounty hunters for me. And the fact that she can like hold her own against like one of the baddest dudes on the planet. A lot of people had problems with that. Like they were like saying like, oh, like why would she be able to like handle Cad Bane? I'm like, that just shows how awesome she is, you know? It shows
how awesome she is, but also people in production make conscious choices about stuff like that. They are telegraphing what you're supposed to expect from this character. And Ming-Na Wen, hello, look at all she's been in.
Yeah.
Like Chun-Li, hello, they are telegraphing that Fennec Shand could serve you your own butt on a silver platter and you would say thank you ma'am because she's so cool.
Heck yeah.
So I loved that, and seeing her in Bad Batch, I was like, yes. But I love Cad Bane. His entire like character to me is like so good.
I really hope he's in Boba, like Book of Boba.
Oh my God. I don't know how I feel about the idea of a live action. Like what he would look like.
I think they could pull it off. It would be dicey for sure. I think
it could go one of 2 ways.
but yeah, I think they could pull it off because especially like with the level of like CG. It would depend on if he was like CGI. I guess like if they would CGI him or if they would do like kind of like a mask sort of thing. I think it could look real cheesy with a mask, but technology with masks nowadays are like crazy with some of the stuff that they can do. So but man, I don't know what I would do. I just hope they give him a big hat. That was my only thing with the Bad Batch.
His hat was smaller.
Yeah, I was like, it's such a nitpick, and it doesn't matter.
No,
but totally. I was like, I want my Barbosa style big hat. That's why I like him. He's got a hat out to here, and it's freaking awesome. I want one, and you need to give him a big hat again.
I'm just saying, when it comes to bounty hunters, cowboy hat size directly relates to level of badassery.
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page with that because I've said that to a few people, and they're like, "Does it really matter?" I'm like, "Yes." Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
But yeah, I think he's such a cool character, especially like when he dresses up as like the clones to like escape and stuff.
Oh my God,
I was like, what a sick ass. He's like, I'm not a clone. He starts like beating them with the helmets and stuff like
why are
that.
you bleeding green?
Yeah. He's such a cool character that I hope we get to see more of. Like honestly, like Bosk would be another cool one. Like I think that like just more bounty hunters, man. I think
give me the bounty hunters.
Yeah, I think we just scratched the surface with bounty hunters. So because he would still totally. I mean I don't know how long Trandoshans live, but I mean Chewbacca can live to be like 900 years old. I don't see why.
Right.
You know. Also that bounty I'm blanking on. He's a Legends character, but there's a bounty hunter that like he's like a Wookiee that comes to fight Obi-Wan. Because like there's a bounty on like Luke or something like that. It's like a Legends comic book now.
Could I tell you his name? No, but I know what you're talking about.
I want to say it starts with a K, but I don't know. I who knows? But but yeah. But I think seeing more bounty hunters than just kind of like, because like don't get me wrong, I love Mandalorians, but I would like to see a little bit more variety. Because I thought I want to say his name's Embo with the hat that he throws as the dog.
Is that Embo? Embo sounds right.
Yeah, I want to say it's
on Scipio.
Yeah, with they're like protecting the village from like Hondo. I think Hondo's if I remember correctly. Yeah, dude, his character was so cool, and he's like surfing on his hat and stuff like that. And I was like, yo.
Or no, that was when Padme was there with
He pops up a few times. I want to say. Yeah. Because
I'm thinking of when he was on Scipio and Anakin went to like pick her up and was like, "What the heck is going on here?"
Yeah. Because he also comes in when Maul's trying to take over the Hutts. They're like they're protecting like the. Because I think I'm on like season 5 of the Clone Wars right now, but I've been rewatching it. So yeah, he comes in there with the Zabrak chick too. She's like a sniper or something like that. But yeah. Yeah, I'm so bad with names sometimes, especially when like I'm like I can be like a lore master when it's not on video, and then when it's all video, it's
100%.
Like it's like I don't know.
I've never watched a single Star Wars in my life.
So if you got a call from Lucasfilm and they were like, look, we need an idea for a Star Wars, whatever. It could be a book, it can be a movie, it can be a video game, and you could do literally whatever you wanted. What would you pitch them?
It would either be probably a limited series revolving around Darth Revan.
Oh, cool.
Or I would want to see the Clone Wars Umbara arc in live action.
Yo, that would be sick.
Because that is
Krell with the double bladed lightsabers.
Yeah. I think that would be amazing. That's one of my favorite arcs. It's sad. It's really sad. All of Star Wars is sad. We can never have a happy ending. That's been established. But I would love to see that live action. But also just like, I want more Revan content now that I'm have learned more about him, because I wasn't allowed to play video games growing up, so I never played the original KOTOR. And believe you me, the amount of men who have been like, "Oh, you're a Star Wars fan? Who's Darth Revan then?" I was like, "Well, I'm gonna find out."
I don't understand. Like, that's something that boggles my mind. Like, I don't understand the attack. Like, he's a cool kid. Like, I'm not a super knowledgeable about the Knights of the Old Republic and just the Old Republic in general is probably my least knowledge based. I played a little bit of the. I'm like I said, a big video game guy, so I played a lot of the old video games. But to that extent, I that's all I knew. I don't understand that why is Revan the go-to guy when people question you about Star Wars. Why is he there's such a vast thing of Star Wars, and it just seems like Revan is the one thing that people are oh, do you even know who Revan is? First off, who cares? He's cool, but at the end of the day, is it really that big of a deal if I know who Revan is compared to Darth Vader or something that? Who cares?
I think those types of people use it because they assume that girls are in it because young Anakin is hot, or Obi-Wan is hot, or whatever, and they see it as a marker of if you're a real fan, you've done everything, you've read everything, you've played everything. So if you don't know who Darth Revan from the 2000 whatever early 2000s video game that has some of the crappiest graphics ever by today's standards
and clunkiest mechanics.
Oh my god. Yeah, if you don't know who that is, then you're not a real fan. So
because I can tell you obviously, you can tell I'm a Star Wars fan by the amount of Star Wars stuff I have. And I could barely tell you about Revan. I knew he was a Jedi that fought in the Mandalorian and Sith Wars. And then he turned into a Sith and then back into a Jedi. But that's my extent of my knowledge. I don't know who he is, It's just that just for some reason became the marker of I'm going to quiz you. Who's Revan? And it's I've never understood, not to get into a whole thing because gatekeeping's a whole other podcast, but that you could fill a book with. But I've just never understood why not just be when I find a Star Wars fan, I'm another person I can geek out with,
Exactly.
I've never been I've never understood that side of things where you get defensive about it. I guess it's their thinking is I love it, so I have to fuss out all the pretenders,
protect it from people. I don't know,
because Star Wars is definitely mainstream right now, which personally I love because more Star Wars people to talk to, but it's definitely the cool thing to love Star Wars, whereas I don't know if you had to deal with any of this as the prequels. I kind of just kept Star Wars to myself growing up, because
for a long time.
I just got so tired of defending the prequels and all hey, everybody's Hayden Christensen's acting's bad and stuff like that. I just got so tired of hearing it and being I didn't want to be oh, you're wrong, this is why it's this and this. So I just kind of kept it to myself, and lately I've been branching out more. That was the whole reason for this YouTube channel and stuff that. And because I've seen kind of the other side of things with Rex and Around and stuff like that, where they're more people that I would associate as my type of kin, my type of friends. They're hey, whatever you like is cool, let's just talk about Star Wars.
Exactly. Exactly. That's really how I got into doing all of this too. After I finished the Clone Wars, I was I want to see how many Clone Wars things there are on on TikTok. Happened to run across one of their videos, and that I have made a bajillion fun new friends from the Rex and Around community in the last year and a half. And I'm crazy to think that this all started because I found them dancing around to The Weeknd in Clone Wars.
Right, yeah. I'm still a baby when it comes to branching out and stuff like that. But I said, I get to meet people like you and I think I started back in March and the amount of like of counts that I've followed and stuff like that. I'm just like also kind of shooting myself in the foot. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner, man? This is so cool. You know,
I'm just like, man, if only I would have been open about this like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I'd probably have a lot more friends now. Right. I'm happy just making new friends every day. Definitely.
And it's such a cool, like, I don't know how to like really, it's kind of weird to like explain it too. It's just like, it's this thing, it's just you find these people and you're just like, because like all my friends, like a lot of my friends, like they watch Star Wars, but they're like casuals, you know, they don't really like deep dive into it and stuff like that. And then I've been finding these people who like, when I bring up Clone Wars, I'll bring up a clone or like, you know, just whatever, like something beyond the basic movies and somebody knows, man, I just get so excited. I like ramble. I went on this podcast and I felt so bad because it was the first podcast that I had done. And I felt like I was just rambling, trying to spit out facts and stuff like that.
That's literally always how I feel. I'm just like, I'm going to stop talking now.
And it was also a kind of a shocker to me because I tend to be more on the quiet side. Like I'm not a big, like I kind of just like to listen and stuff like that. So it was like, where did this side of me come from? Like, I was just like, oh, dude, do you know the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Because I can tell you every word of it. But,
it's like that. There's this TikTok audio that's trending right now. It's like, I could go into detail and I will. Like that's exactly what happened.
I haven't seen that one, but I'll definitely keep a lookout for it. That sounds funny. So I know you said you weren't into, or you weren't really allowed to play video games, but since you have grown up a little bit and you've been kind of free will and stuff like that now, have you gotten into any of the games or?
I had downloaded Battlefront and
the newest one?
Not that Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, the newest one, though. The newest Battle, because there's the 2005, like, Battlefront.
Oh,
which is like
no. Yeah, the newest one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have ADHD, and I cannot sit still for very long, especially with stuff like that. So I've, like, booted it up a couple times and, like, played it for, like, a little bit. But that's, like, also another thing is, like, it's just really hard for me to sit and concentrate on something like that for too long. But I love watching other people play it. And I'm definitely going to be buying KOTOR when the remake comes out. So I think they said they're releasing it for the Switch, which I have a Switch, and I'll probably, like, take it to work with me and, like, play it on my lunch break kind of thing. Like, I can do it in small bites type of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't gotten super into it, but I love and respect everybody who is, and I think it's super cool, and it's just hard for me to sit still. That's really it. That's the main issue. I
feel the same way about reading and like the comic book because I have I'm like the flip side. I have dyslexia, so like reading's just like man, I'm just like, and I'm also a visual learner. So like audiobooks have been helping me. I'm working my way through Plagueis right now, and I'm like loving it. It's such a great story, but just sitting down and reading a book, man, because like I have like I'll read the whole page and I'll be like, I don't even know what that page was about.
Right.
And I'll have to reread it.
Trying to read is like, I'll be like, wow, did I actually read that paragraph or did I just look at the words and not actually take anything in?
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for the new KOTOR because I never beat it like as a kid. Like I said, like time goes by so slow, you know, that you're just like I think I made it to like Tatooine and it's like the second or third map or whatever. But and then they just announced man, I'm blank. It's like Hunters. Did you hear about that one? Star Wars Hunters?
Yeah.
It's
actually,
like
I did.
Man, I thought that was cool. I thought they did something very similar to Visions where there's like an Ugnaught and a Droideka. Yes. And I was just like, yo, that's so cool. Yeah, so I'm like super excited about that one.
Isn't there like a droid that's like programmed to believe that he has the Force or something like that? I thought that was so funny.
He's a Jedi, so I'm interested to see how that one goes because I think it's going to be on the Switch and then it's like a mobile.
Yeah, I think so. I just remember knowing that both of them were coming to the Switch, and I was like, yes, I love the Switch.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about 3D printing, and I think that'll be kind of like the last. We'll like wrap it up with the 3D printing stuff. Yeah. What kind of got you into doing 3D printing stuff?
Mostly my fiance, actually. When we were first dating, he was like, I really want to get into 3D printing. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Let's do it. So we bought like an old refurbished 3D printer, and it took us forever to get it like dialed in and calibrated. And I am not artistically inclined. So I can't see something in my head and draw it out or like see something and like model it. So he does the modeling. then we print it out, and then I do the painting. I can paint stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really it. We had this like printer for a while, and then we got another one, and then we got a third one, and then we got a fourth one, and then we got a resin printer. There's never enough. Like, we're trying to print out, like, I'm doing Hunter, and he's gonna do Wrecker. Our roommate's gonna be Crosshair because he's tall and thin, and then we found somebody to be Tech. We're like, we've been trying to use Armor Smith to get everything sized out correctly.
Difficult.
And it's, oh my God.
It's difficult.
Especially getting Hunter down to my size. He is modeled out for a 6 foot tall, 200 pound man. I am 5'8" and like 120 pounds. Like, this has been an interesting process, but we will get there. But yeah, you just sitting there seeing all of them like working at top capacity, like printing out bits and pieces of this armor is like really funny. But I don't know. I just think it's super cool. I think that you can basically make anything. Like, I have strewn about my house like 500 little things that he's like printed out for me. Like, he printed me out like a Beskar ingot at one point, just as like to see how it was calibrated. I have like a baby Yoda somewhere, like a bunch of different things. But I think it's super cool, and it's just like, not that I have any problem with like people selling armor kits and stuff, but like, it's expensive. And so it's like slightly more cost effective to print stuff out a bit at a time with a $20 roll of filament from Amazon.
Definitely. So. Yeah. I want to get into, I run like a little like small business Etsy shop, and I want to get into like art. Yeah. I don't know. I can kind of like, here, let me move it around. You can kind of see a lot of like the video game stuff that I have on my wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
And all that jazz. But
yeah,
I've been wanting to get into making like props for like the longest time. It's just, it's kind of daunting, man. I don't know how Galactic Armory does it so much, because like I've never modeled like helmets or anything like that, or armor sets. Like,
well, he has like a full-on print farm.
Yeah, he has like 100 freaking printers. I'm like, goals. That's
seriously
awesome. But yeah, I haven't. How do you like the resin? I haven't really. That's one thing I'm saving up for right now, but I haven't worked on that.
Have not tried it yet. I got it for him for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And because he wanted one forever, and we just like between work and everything haven't had the time. But that's actually something we're gonna fire up. We just got the Mars. I got him the Mars Elegoo off Amazon. It wasn't like crazy expensive or anything.
Yeah.
But I've seen a bunch of resin printed stuff. We need to find the time to calibrate it, make sure it's not going to like fume up our house. We don't actually know yet.
Yeah. I've heard they can be a little smelly from what I've heard, but
yeah,
a lot of people said that with the other printers. I have the CR10, like the Creality ones.
Yeah, that's what we have. We have a CR10, a CR10 Pro, and then the Ender...
Ender 3 or something like
Ender
that.
3, yeah.
And a lot of people said those smell, but I've never really had any problem with those.
I don't actually have a sense of smell, fun fact, so it doesn't ever bother me.
Oh. Well, I guess pros.
Fun fact, I really can't smell anything. So yeah, that's never been an issue for me, but I will have to defer to him on whether or not it smells bad.
For sure. Yeah, man, resin printing looks so cool, because like it looks like it doesn't get the, like, my biggest thing is like, man, the amount of hours I've had to spend bondoing and sanding and bondoing and sanding. Yep. It's a nightmare, because like the layers, like you can't, it's just not there yet.
Stepping on anything that is not a flat square surface is atrocious. No matter what you do.
But resin printing, it doesn't look like you get nearly as many lines, if any lines at all. So like that's something that I definitely I actually there's this website called Colts 3D, and it's like just like you can get like you can get files, 3D printing files.
Okay.
And they're doing it like an architecture challenge, and like if you win, you get a free resin printer, essentially.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I was like, and they were like, yeah, you can like make up your own design, or you can like build like the Eiffel Tower or like Big Ben or something like that. And I'm like, what about fantasy stuff? Because I will definitely like recreate Vader's castle. And,
oh my God, that would be so
do like
cool.
LEDs in it, make like the lava and stuff like that. So I'm trying to plan that out right now. I need to send them actually an email, but that's like one of my biggest things. Yeah, I got I don't know if you see the battle droid head right here. I actually modeled that one. That one was fun.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I just wanted to sit and talk to you about there's not a whole bunch of people I know that also 3D print, so we'll just sit and shoot the shit with you about 3D printing. It's kind of fun too.
Yeah, totally.
But thank you so much for like actually taking the time and like coming on and talking to me for, I don't know what, it's like 8:19, so we've been an hour and some change, you know?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I love talking. Thank you for having me. Like anytime I get to just chat Star Wars, I'm like, I'm in. I'm happy. This is cool.
Definitely. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Just if you want to check me out on TikTok, it's Kidsidious with an _ I always feel like I need to plug the fact that I like make music as well, even though it's all just instrumental. So you can find my music anywhere on any music platform under the name Moriarti. I don't think it's great, but people have told me that I'm wrong. So there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll check everything out and put links down below, so it's just easy of access for everybody. Yeah. And again, just thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
If you guys have made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching.
For real.
And as always, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.